So hello everyone. Today I'm going to walk you through a Java program that calculates the total pay for hourly employees based on specific rules as given in the question. And this program considers regular pay for hourly employees based on specific rules. So let's dive in. So in the scenario, we are dealing with this company called Balex, and it needs to calculate weekly pay for its hourly employees. So a program will take into account the US Department of Labor requirements as in the question. So I'll put the question in the description as necessary. So let's dive in. So first of all, I'll start by creating a new Java project in our IDE. And my IDE, I'm using Apache. So I don't know if you can see it, but this is the way Apache looks like. And we name the project Balex Payroll, and then within the project we create a class, and the class is called balexcompany.java. So this class will contain the logic or the code needed for our program. So let's go to the constants and variables. So in our Balex class we define the constants, and whereby constants are values that remain unchanged throughout our program. And we have minimum wage, which is this, and it's set to $8 per hour. Then we have the regular hours, set to 40 hours, and also max hours, set to 60. So just to explain, the minimum wage is the minimum wage allowed per law, and the regular hours are representing the number of hours an employee can work before overtime kicks in. Then the max hours are simply the number of hours an employee can legally work within the week. So next, we calculate the pay method. So the calculate pay method is the core part of our program. So a calculate pay method, this method takes simply two parameters, which is the base pay and the base pay, which is the employee's hourly rate, and hours worked, which is the number of hours they have worked in a week. So this method starts by checking if the base pay is below the minimum wage. So this if condition you see here, if the base pay is below the minimum wage, and if it is, the program just prints an error message and exits the method early. So this ensures we don't calculate for the pay for an illegal wage. Then similarly, we also check hours worked if they exceed 60. If they do, another message is printed. In this case, cannot work more than those max hours. And this prevents overworking of employees beyond the legal methods. So next is the pay calculation logic. So for the pay calculation logic, we use an if-else statement to differentiate between the regular hours and overtime. So for example, for this if statement, if an employee worked for 40 hours or less, their pay is simply the base pay multiplied by the number of hours worked. That's what it does. So base pay times the number of hours worked. Then if they worked more than 40 hours, we calculate their pay in two parts: a regular pay for the first 40 hours and overtime pay for the hours beyond that. So overtime is calculated 1.5 times the base pay, which is a standard price. And then this number format, we use the number format just to format a currency, total pay as a currency. So this ensures the user output is friendly, it's in a dollar sign, but it's not meaningless. So I can just run the code to show you how that works. And when I run the file for employee 1, let's assume their base pay was $400, and they worked for maybe 4 hours. So as you can see, it outputs as $8, starting with the dollar sign. That's what the number format helps us with 2 decimal places. And yeah, so let's look at the main method and user interaction. So our main method, this is where our program will interact with the user. We are using a scanner, the scanner, to prompt the user to enter the base pay and hours worked for each employee, as you can see. And then it calls the calculate, and then calls the calculate pay method process to display like a total pay. Okay, what I'm meaning, we run a for loop here, this for loop, for the fixed number of employees, and in this case there are only 3. So, but this can be adjusted for each employee. The program asks the base pay and the hours worked, then it calls for the calculate pay method, and then displays their total pay. So the main method is the entry point of the program, where everything comes together. So after collecting the necessary data from the user, it will simply calculate the pay and ensures the program runs smoothly. As you can see, final print statement. Just to sum up this, the program is just practical. An example, so a practical example of Java in the real world, trying to solve a payroll management problem. So I've tried to add as many comments as possible so that no one gets lost. And yes, thank you so much. And finally, so I have to prove that the code works. So let's first run the code. I just want to run it afresh. And it asks me to enter the best pay for employee number 1. Let's assume he earns 50. Okay, he earns $500. Then hours worked, maybe works for 2, and you realize his salary is 1,000. Then for employee number 2, let's assume he's maybe the general manager, and he earns about $3,000 at his best pay, and he works for about 4 hours. Yeah, 5, okay. So it's a 9 to 5. So realize his salary will be $15,000. Then for employee number 3, maybe the security guard, his best pay is $500 per hour. And when we do this, so 3 hours that he works, he earns 1,500. So realize our program runs smoothly. So thank you guys for watching. See you later.